Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to another recommendation video. This one has been highly recommended and voted on by my channel members. The last two times I've done a channel member requested suggested video, I have forgotten to mention that they're the ones who voted on it. So one of the perks of being a channel member of mine is that once a month I put up a poll of which video that they would like to sponsor, and this one was Dirty Talking Heroes. At least it was when I decided to film it. I think one of the other ones like beat it later on. I'm like, sorry guys, this is the one you're getting. You're getting this one. So here we go. But it's Dirty Talking Heroes time, and who doesn't love this? Like, this is by no means an extensive list. And if you go to Dirty Talking Heroes on Goodreads, there's a list with over 50 pages of recommendations. So these are just some of my favorites from that list, okay? Some authors just put dirty talk into pretty much every book that they do. Now, what's the difference in dirty talk? I think it all depends. Some of it is going to be more abundant than others, but a lot of times it can be, you know, mushed in with saying good girl or, you know, anyone who's particularly expressive during sexy times. So that can be a lot of things. Again, these are just some of my favorites. This is how we put together a list of this stuff. It's by no means extensive or the completed of it at all. But we're going to go through a few that I think particularly hit it with this, okay? Okay. So first up, we're starting with one that is a recent, like, I mean, I know I put this book in everything, okay? I am aware, but you can't stop me, okay? And that is Heartless, because if you've read this book, you know that Cade Eaton just can't help himself when his mouth gets going. And it's so hot because he's so stoic and grumpy most of the time. And then him and Willa get into the sexy times and his mouth pops open. And you're just like, sir, what is going to come out of it next? And, you know, you better have an extra pair of panties with you, like Willa does sometimes, because you're going to be in trouble, okay? You're going to be in trouble. So highly recommend. What do I even need to say about this one at this point? This is a nanny romance. It's a single dad. He's a cowboy. He has an adorable little son, and he needs someone to be with his son during the summertime. And Willa, who's feeling a little bit at loose ends with her life. Her friend Summer, who is dating Cade's brother, she kind of gets roped into doing it. And at first, Cade is like, no, I don't want this chick. She's too crazy. But she's really good with his kid. And he's like, damn it, I guess I'm going to have this hot chick staying with me. Oh no, Lord, help me. What shall I do? And it's the most epic romance that I read in 2022. So there you go. Then we go right to an even dirtier place and a darker place. Not all of these will be dark. Some of them are just as light as anything. But then we have God of Malice. And this one be dark. This one be dark. A lot of Rena Kent's books can be used for dirty talk. As I said, some authors just use it more than others. This whole trilogy shows up on that list. But this one is by far my favorite, God of Malice. I love it so much. This was one of the first books that I read this year, and it has stuck with me. And this one has our heroine who accidentally catches the eye of our hero, and he becomes obsessed with her, and he becomes kind of her stalker, and he also gets a little dubious and non-conny with her because he just wants to make her do things and he can't help himself, and it gets spicy and it's a fun time for everyone. But this one is taking place at kind of a prep school scenario for the like wealthy elite. It's called The Legacy of the Gods, and it is children from other book series by Rena Kent, and they're at these two schools that are very close to each other, and they tend to intertwine and get themselves in trouble at different times because, you know, the wealthy kids, they do. And yeah, this one deals with a lot of dark things, so make sure you check the trigger warnings for this one. But I love it. I love it so much. I had such a great time, and I can't wait for her to put out more in this series because I've loved all three of them so much. And the dirty talk is spectacular. It's spectacular. Okay, then we got to talk about some J.T. Geisinger, and really, I couldn't pick a book of hers that doesn't have it, but pretty much all of the books in Queens and Monsters have some good dirty talk, okay? From Ruthless Creatures, the first one, Carnal Urges. Daddy Declan does some spectacular dirty talk. He's also has such a tender heart at the same time. It's just so beautiful. Like, he'll have dirty, nasty sex with you and then make you some food and feed it to you. Because it's just so precious. So highly recommend. Then I'm bringing out one that is pretty controversial. I don't technically classify this as a romance. I want to be true to what I believe a romance is, but it also felt romantic to me by the end. Anyway, but the dirty talk in this one, there's also some, what's it called? Primal play that happens, some other kinky shit, because that's just who JT is, and there's pen pal. So yeah, this one sparked a lot of controversy when it came out. Some people won't call it a romance. I myself wouldn't technically call it a romance because of a twist in this story, but I felt that the characters were happy together at the end, even if it isn't a traditional HEA the way that I usually demand that I have. But still, the dirty talk in this book, the dirty talk of this hero is insane. Like, it's crazy. This also has some spooky vibes. It has some ghostiness happening. And again, it has some paranormal in it as well. Like, I tell people, for it to have like the best like experience, expect that this is a paranormal romantic suspense. And that covers the bases. But it has some hot sex in it. Don't think otherwise. It's there for sure. Then we have another darker one. I think I'm almost done with the darker ones. We ended up going through the dark ones first, which is totally fine. We have Wrong by Adelaide Forrest. This one's a quick one. Now, I'll say this up front. You cannot buy this on Amazon anymore. Okay, it has been removed. It's been flagged. It's been taken away. But you can go to Adelaide Forrest's website and you can get the ebook and the paperback, okay? But you can't buy it anymore. So when I recommend it, people are always like, Jen, I can't buy it. You have to go to the author. Support her directly and go buy this book. But it got kicked off of Amazon. What are we going to do? Because it's that naughty, okay? This was a part of a collection that she was a part of, which is the Black Heart romance. And it has a lot of kinky and taboo romance. So this one's a dark age gap. This one has, let me just read it. Non-consent, consensual non-consent, somnophilia, forced pregnancy, stalking, kidnapping, and a taboo daddy's best friend relationship. So it is all of those things. Our heroine accidentally gets herself put in a position where she gets taken advantage of by the hero. The hero misinterprets the situation based on a scenario that he's planning to play out with a partner, but it ends up being with the heroine instead. And then once he's popped her cherry and taken her as his own, he doesn't plan to let her go. Hence why this is so dark and it got banned. But it's delicious. I can't help it. And I'm recommending it because the dirty talk is great. It's so good. It's so good. Then we, of course, have to talk about another author who puts dirty talk so good into everything she does, and that's Sierra Simone. Priest, I forgot to grab it when I was grabbing my books. Priest by Sierra Simone has some wonderful dirty talk. Again, all the books in this series do. It's great. But I love this one. This is a taboo priest romance between a priest and one of his new parishioners who comes to give confession and ends up coming in some other ways as well. And when they're together, he definitely dirty talks her, and it's good stuff, okay? This was one of the first, like, truly, like, taboo type books that I'd read, and, you know, there's no one to pop your cherry for that quite like Sierra Simone, because she does it so good. So, highly recommend that you read this book. It's excellent. It's wonderful. All right, then we have one more dark one. We have Burn For Me by Sarah Kate. This is one I love to share as well. This one is a reverse age gap, like they like to say. So it's a teacher she's a professor, and our hero is a student there, and his life was actually ruined by the heroine. When she was a young journalist, she kind of broke this story wide open that happened to be about the hero's dad. And when Cullen is his name, when he, when his father ended up going to prison, his mother killed herself and he was sent to live with his uncle who was abusive to him. And so the last few years he, has been barely surviving with that. And now he's going to this college and one of his classes is with a woman that he blames for doing it all. And so he goes about torturing her a little bit, and the heroine kind of lets him get away with it. That's what I say. Because she feels guilty that this innocent, who, I mean, he's not acting so innocent now, but he was innocent when his world fell apart. She does feel blame, even though she wouldn't do anything differently because his father still needed to go down. She does feel bad that he was caught in the crossfire and had to suffer because of it. So, she lets him do stuff to her, including dirty talk to her when they're doing stuff. So, gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. Then we have another author who puts it all over the place, and that is Melanie Harlow. She does such a great job of writing these wholesome small town romances, and then the heroes open their mouth and just take us to an 11 in the dirty town here. So I actually have 2 books from Cloverleaf Farms. I have the first and the last book, which is kind of funny. This one's actually in the 2nd generation of Cloverleaf Farms, but when you look at it at Goodreads, they're all in the same series. So this one is Irresistible. This one is about Mac, and did I even do this right? I bet this is even the dad. Sorry, I'm just peeking a second. I think this is literally the dad of the heroine in that one. That is so fun. I didn't do that on purpose. I just grabbed 2 of her books. But this one is about a single dad. He's an ex-Marine. He has 3 kids. And Franny Sawyer is the daughter of his boss. She's 10 years younger than him. And he has the hots for her. She's also his, like, part-time nanny when he, like, needs one. And he's falling for her. And one night there's a storm and she ends up having to stay at his house, and things finally escalate, and then there's no going back. And the man has a filthy, filthy mouth. And then there's Temp, which Millie, if I've done this correctly, is actually one of those girls that the single dad has. And this one is about, I think this is Zach. Yeah, this is Zach, and he is a former Navy SEAL who works in security, and he is at a Manhattan hotel bar, and he kind of saves Millie from a creep at the bar, and they end up having a one-night stand, and it's crazy. Fast forward a few months, he discovers that he has a son that he didn't know about, and oh, by the way, his son is getting married, and oh, by the way, would you like to come to the wedding that is being planned by my ex-girlfriend, whose name is Millie. And chaos ensues. And it's fantastic. I love this one because it starts out with this really beautiful, like, one-night stand with them. And they just get so naughty. Like, there's some spanking and there's some dirty talking, and they have this. And then when there's, like, time between them, and it's a long distance too, they have this really beautiful communication between them that I just really love, that they build their friendship when they're not able to be together. The way that they build their friendship up is just, it's so good. I love it. I love it so much. So highly recommend. Then we of course have The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. I freaking love this book. It's one of my 6-star books from this year, and Ryan Shea just has something about him. He's the sweetest man, and he has such a dirty mouth. Like, there's this beautiful scene, I actually have it like marked in here, where they're getting down and dirty finally. Like, it's happening. We're doing it. It's been a slow burn to it. And he has such an amazing connection with the heroine. Like, it's so beautiful. But he's trying to find what she likes, and so he's like, do you want me to call you bad names? What do you want? And then he sees how she's reacting. He's like, no, you're my good girl. You want me to say nice things to you. And so then he starts praising her instead. Like, the way that he's, like, reading her body and, like, reading the situation to find the things that will give her the most pleasure. Like, I live for it, okay? I just, nom, 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 nom. I just gobble it all up. It's perfection. We love it so much. And yeah, this one is a basketball romance. It's also forced proximity. She is living in his apartment with him because she's friends with his sister, and then she ends up losing a relationship she's been in a long time, and so he lets her stay with him very reluctantly. And then before you know it, they have become friends. They're also fake dating because he needs a date to make his boss see him as more of like a settled person, but he doesn't want to date anyone because he's been burned before, so there's a fake dating, and Just, there's so many good tropes in this, as well as just a truly good-hearted, beautiful man. Like, it's fantastic. Liz Tom Ford has been hitting it out of the park. And then one last one that I want to recommend because it's just so wholesome and sweet. And also Bennett, the hero, has a naughty mouth, and that is Bright Like Wildfire by Juliet Cross. Just look at this cover. I just love showing this cover. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And this couple, they end up together in a production. They're in theater. They're going to be doing a Midsummer Night's Dreams together, and they're like enemies. Well, at least Betty sees them as enemies. Bennett, he doesn't understand why they're enemies anymore, but now they're working together, and they end up having some really great kind of like more like rivals to lovers is what I would say. But now they're working together in this play, and things get sexy and steamy between them. And at one point there's even a bet for anal. It happens. There's a bet for anal, and it's a good time. It's a good time. Okay. I love it. I love it so much. And I can't wait for everything that Juliet writes. Grim and Barrett is coming soon, and I'm so excited about that. And I think she's so talented, and I love what she does. And this beautiful contemporary too just gave me all the warm and fuzzies, and it was so much fun. And I love them. I love them so much. So there you go, everybody. Those are some books with some dirty talking heroes. Thank you so much to my channel members for sponsoring this video. If you would like to be a channel member, or check out my Patreon for bonus behind the scenes and extra videos every month, check out those links down below. I do this full time, so any help you can send my way is appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and have a great day.